Hello fellow gardeners, welcome to the Calyx Gardening channel. I am Thelma. It's the last day in November and as far as I'm concerned, it is Amaryllis time. Now, we covered the putting these plants into dormancy about 5 videos ago. So what I want to do in this video is just remind you a bit about the process and go through, because we did 3 different things in this season in order to obtain more information to share with you on the conditions under which Amaryllis does best. So instead of just admiring them as they definitely deserve to be admired, I will be going into some details on the different treatments we had applied. So please keep watching. Welcome back and thanks for staying, and let's get right into the meat of the video. And I am hoping that most of you would have seen the setup video, which was done about 7 weeks ago, and if you have not, well, you can watch this one now, but I'll recommend that you go back and see how the setup was done. But we're really looking at how to vary the time of putting the plants into dormancy in order for them to bloom in time for the Christmas holiday season. First dormancy treatment, we started that September 2nd, which, yes, we know that really gives us more than enough time, because normally we keep the plants in the dark room for 6 weeks, and as I say, that gives us enough time after we take them out for them to bloom in time for Christmas. So this is the batch we set up on September 2nd. So let me just give you the results of this batch, since it's easier to do so. First batch was 17 plants, and 6 weeks after we took them out of the dormancy period, we have 3 really advanced. These started blooming within 4 weeks or so after we took them out of the dark room. The others you see here behind, 7 of them, all of them have the flower scape emerging. That's a nice one. And once the scape is visible, it should be about 4 weeks or so for them to get into full blooming like these in front. So we have 10 of the plants, 10 of the 17 plants have started blooming. So definitely these will be ready in time for Christmas. Now, the remaining 7 I have arranged behind here. I don't know if we can see that. They're all very much alive, but the scapes are not yet visible. And again, the previous experience last year, we found that up to 12 weeks, we had to wait for up to 12 weeks for some of the bulbs to start blooming. The interesting thing about this set that has not really started blooming, they have been channeling their energies into producing leaves, which is interesting. The 2 at the end not producing leaves as yet, but we're going to keep an eye on this to see the extent to which the production of the leaves really slows down or affects the blooming. So at this point in time, 7 weeks out of the dark room, we have essentially 60% success rate in blooming. So, and I fully expect at least half of the others would be blooming shortly in time for Christmas. So as far as I'm concerned, September 2nd is a good day to start. You're going to get some early blooms for some pre-Christmas gift giving, but you would have every confidence that most of your bulbs would be in bloom. Now, this second set of 12 bulbs were put in the dark room a month after the first set. Essentially a month. They were placed in the dark room October 9 and spent 40 days in the dark room, 2 days less than the first batch. Shouldn't make a difference. But they've been out of the dark room now for only 2 weeks. So we really would not be expecting to see too much flower development within only 2 weeks. But this one here, this looks like a nice red. It's a different variety from the one that has already bloomed. That is Amaryllis fantastica, I have since found out. But we're going to be trying, we're going to be getting the names of all of the varieties. This one also looks like a different variety. But after only 13 days out of the dark room, we have 6 of the 12 showing the blooms. Either at the very early stages, you can see them there. Right. And these behind me still alive. I am looking at them anxiously. I see some swelling, so I expect more scapes to emerge. But as I say, not surprisingly, it's only 2 weeks, and we would want to give them between 6 and 12 weeks for them to develop their blooms after they come out of the dark room. So 50% success, I like my percentages. After only 13 days, I feel confident. So what does that tell you? If you know you want to schedule your gift giving or your displays of your Amaryllis, but have them clustered around the holiday season, which you can now extend to the entire month of December as well as the entire month of January, you should have a fair bit of confidence if you start your treatments, your dark treatments, or your forcing of dormancy treatments by the first week in September. And we're talking for my region, which is the Caribbean region. And but every 3 or 4 weeks, you place some into dormancy. That way you can extend your display of Amaryllis, well, for as long as you want, but focusing on the holiday seasons, the Christmas season, at which time really Amaryllis is very well known and very popular as a Christmas gift. So these are the early results really from our dormancy trials. Those that were started in September are definitely going to be blooming in time for the holiday season. And these that were started in October stand a very good chance. As I showed you, at this point it's 50% blooming, but I expect that a few more will come into blooming. And in this way, you can extend your displays of Amaryllis or your gift giving for the entire month of December, well into January. In addition to varying the dates that we put the plants into dormancy, we also wanted to see whether or not there would be any difference in the rate or the time of blooming if we did not take the bulbs out of the beds or in the pots. In other words, minimum effort. So we selected these 3 very healthy plants and kept them in their pots, and as we showed in the setup video, all we did was to cut off the leaves. These are the controls in that we treated these bulbs as we would normally. We took them out of the beds, we washed them, cut the leaves off, and trimmed the roots. Now, all plants were placed in the dark room and kept there for 40 days, and we've only now taken them out of the dark room. So this is a first look at what the plants would look like as they emerge from the dark room. And you can see these plants, even though we had removed the leaves, all they did was pushed up more leaves. So I won't jump to conclusion, but from my experience, if the plant is putting energy into growing, it is highly unlikely that it will be putting equivalent amount of energy in producing flowers. We'll monitor these for the usual between 6 and 8 weeks post-dark treatment to see the extent to which these bulbs produce flowers. So although the experiment or the exercise is not yet completed, we have another 3 weeks before we really get into the holiday gift-giving season. But we're so encouraged by the results that we wanted to share the results with you at this point. And as I promised, I'm going to give you a follow-up, a part 2, probably a week or so before Christmas, so you can see how we dress up our Amaryllis for Christmas. And the idea is, of course, to bring you along, take you along, and encourage you to do the same. And the main takeaway from this exercise is that starting early, anywhere in September, is probably better. It gives you more confidence that you will have your blooms in time for the holidays than starting in October. Early October, as I had said in the video, is really the last week, the last period that you should be putting your plants into dormancy. The little experiment we did to see whether or not taking the buds out of the pot would have any effect. Yeah, I think at this point it's probably a little premature, but the early indications are that the greater the shock, the more likely the bulbs are to produce those early blooms, which is what we're looking for. And at this point, you can tell that I'm really happy to report that we are achieving in excess of 60% success rate. And we have another 3 or 4 weeks to go before the peak gift giving season. Now, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and continue to watch the Calyx channel, because we are going to be spending a fair bit of effort in learning a lot more about the Amaryllis and sharing it with you in due course. So until the next video, this is Thelma in the Calyx Garden saying thanks for watching, take care, and bye-bye.